Good morning, YouTube. I'm in downtown Dayton, and I'm having to reshoot this video because I was interrupted by somebody else that was down here that clearly doesn't have anything else to do. A couple bums down here that really don't have anything else to do other than bother people. But anyway, this building, the Center City building, just recently came in the news because it was recently bought, I think, for like $4 to $6 billion. And the developer, you know, has some plans to put around $35 billion into this project, which it simply is not going to happen, people. I mean, this is a dead zone here in downtown Dayton, and of course they're going to probably try the normal fluff crap, you know, apartments, all this other hoopla. But nobody in their right mind is going to live near this freaking. Nobody in their right mind is going to want to live near this, you know, is going to want to live right next door to the hub. So the protected species known as, you know, downtown Dayton, you know, they got all these fluffed plans, which none of it's going to come to fruition because there's too much money involved. And when developers finally realize that the money that they would have to put in here is just simply not worth it, there ain't nothing that's going to happen with this. Only way anything will happen would be if they just siphon and steal the money right out of the taxpayers. So, you know, nobody in their right mind, this is at Main and 4th, right next to the RTA hub, nobody in their right mind wants to freaking live next door to this, wants to live right next to the RTA hub. So I'd like to see really what they're gonna, how they can really get this pig to fly, because I just don't see it happening, people. I mean, you know, and I just made a video about that building at Courthouse Square, which recently closed and went up for sheriff's auction, and I'm sure this building probably went through a similar thing. It's been closed for about 4 to 6 years, but of course, you know, you have buildings like this completely closed. That building over there, RTA, completely closed. There's always a bunch of riff-raff and, you know, stories and some story to try and get the arcade rehyped back up, but nothing ever happens with it. Then you got that building there at 4th and Ludlow, which is vacant, well, it's 90% vacant, but there's only a few tenants left in there. So, you know, they want us to constantly believe that this downtown is such a great place, but yet businesses don't feel that way. Because if it was such a great downtown, you wouldn't have all these closed up office buildings, and the ones that are still open having an extremely high vacancy rate. So the protected species known as downtown Dayton. So there ain't nothing that's going to happen down here unless they siphon all the money out of the taxpayers, which I know our mayor Nan Whaley and city council Joey Williams and all the other dummies on there, they're going to try and, they'll try and, you know, get all the money for these projects they can, because they can't stand the fact that downtown is a dead zone. It's Sunday morning, by the way, and the weather's been pretty hot the last few days, so this is the only time I was really going to attempt to shoot this video, because it's just been, we've been in a heat wave the last few days, and it's just been too hot to even frickin' try and you know, make this video later on the day. It's before 10 a.m. It's a little after 9:30. But, you know, the beat goes on, and please oppose any taxpayer money that is attempted to redevelop any of this stuff. You know what? Private developers, hey, if you want to use your own money, have at it, but leave the taxpayer money alone. And also, I mean, the Dayton Business Journal, you know, mentioned something in this article about in the article. They were saying, oh, about the developer, if history's any indication, that this won't be their last building they develop down here, or this won't be their only one. I got news for you. If they do get it developed by somehow, some way, it will be their last it will be their last building, because they'll realize what a waste of money the whole thing was to begin with. And then once they realize how they can't, get the apartments rented or somebody to buy them, if it ever does happen. But this is a massive building. You're probably looking at around, just on this first portion right here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 floors. And that doesn't even include the very upper floors, which is about 3 or 4 more, that little dome type area. So 17 floors. I mean, it may take a lot more than $34 million, and nobody wants to live next to this RTA hub down here with all this riff-raff. So the people that want to hype these articles up, I'm here to debunk that stuff and to show people it's not realistic. And the city's got a big problem with these buildings too, because there's too many of them, and they're way too expensive to obviously demolish these. To demolish a building like this, you're probably talking $10 to $20 million easily. And then, of course, if there's asbestos in here, then that's another big can of worms. So the city's just got too many of these office buildings, and there just is not enough commerce downtown. Like can you imagine having a restaurant like right now in this area? Like who would be your customers? It's like Sunday morning, and outside of if you're transferring to and from the bus, or unless you're going to church down here, look, there's just absolutely nobody down here. So who's going to support it? So, businesses can't survive down here, or can't thrive down here. Contrary to what people like Charles Sims say, oh, downtown is thriving. Well, here's your thriving downtown right here. Ghost Town, USA. And yet they're trying to con somebody else to spend money down here, and yet you see the traffic pattern. Nobody here. It is just completely dead. Look at the streets. This is Main Street through downtown, one of the main streets. There's nobody here. But anyway, that's it for this one.